Hello again. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend. I can't tell you about mine because I haven't had it yet because I'm recording this chapter on Friday again, but I'll let you know on Monday. Now, I just had a quick peek at the title of this chapter, chapter 33, and it says The Day My Dad Died. So there's going to be a little bit of sadness, I think, but we'll check it out and see how it goes. I don't mind if you skip this bit. It's really sad, but you probably didn't know my dad personally anyway, so you may be okay with it. The thing is, most kids these days don't have to deal with people dying very much. Well, at least not in real life. Don't get me wrong, I think that's a good thing, I really do. It's just that when it happens, we're just not ready for it. Look, take Grandpa Byron. When he was a kid, pretty much everyone in a family he knew, including a boy he played with, were murdered one night. Not that that was normal or anything. There was some kind of war or civil unrest going on at the time, but still. His own grandpa had lived with Grandpa Byron's family and died on the veranda one afternoon, and Grandpa Byron discovered him still holding his teacup. This guy, Grandpa Byron's grandpa, had been taken by his own dad to a prison. Can you imagine that? My mum's mum, who lives in Ireland, was alive during World War II when loads of people died. And her mum, my great-grandma, had 4 brothers, and only one of them lived beyond 20 years old. The rest had died. One had died 2 days after being born, and one was a fisherman who drowned at sea. I found all this out after my dad died. I suppose what I'm trying to say is that in the olden days, people died all the time, and I guess kids just got used to it. That's scary, isn't it? It keeps me awake sometimes, or it did it anyway, for a while, until I just stopped thinking about it so much. Dad was really weird in the days before he died. Obviously, I know now why that was, but at the time I didn't. He went for a long walk, and I mean a really long walk, on his own one day. It must have been on a weekend, and he kept hugging me really hard. It wasn't like Dad never hugged me. It's just he did it more, much more, and much harder. It got to the stage where I had to ask him to stop, and that really hurt his feelings. And actually, we had a bit of a row about it, which I'm still sad about, because now I know what was going on. Now I know that he had learned that he was going to die. Then, on the night it happened, he just went to bed as normal. He and Mum were reading in bed. Mum put out her light and went to sleep, and when she woke up the next morning, he was still there, propped up on the pillows. Bedside light on, but he'd passed. The first thing I knew about it was Mum coming into my room. She was really, really calm. That's how I knew something was seriously up, because Mum only gets that calm and talks in her deep, calm voice when there's something very wrong. If something's gone a bit wrong, like she's burnt the dinner or primed the car again, she'll be all, oh, and flapping around. But if it's something serious, she'll be very calm. Like when I was 6 and she told me that the baby brother she was hoping to have wasn't coming. She sat on the bed in the same place that Dad usually sat when he told me stories. "Ow," she said, "wake up. I have something important to tell you." I was awake straight away. "Your dad has been taken very ill in the night. The doctors will be here any minute. I need you to be very grown up and get dressed quickly." "I'm sorry. Do you mind if I don't write the rest of this? It's making me really sad." You kind of get the idea though, yeah? Oh, well that was a bit sad, Maple, wasn't it? So I don't feel like I'd like to leave it now. I think I'm going to read the next chapter. So chapter 34. The days and weeks afterwards were all a bit of a blur, to be honest. And it was all so crazy sad that I've forgotten quite a lot of it on purpose. I mean, properly forgotten it. There was an inquest, which is a legal inquiry that they always do when somebody dies unexpectedly. I think it's to make sure that they haven't been murdered or anything. Dad died of a hemorrhage, which is very rare, and sometimes if there's a history of it in the family, which actually there isn't in ours, and sometimes it just happens, and that's what happened to Dad. They discovered afterwards that it had been caused by a piece of metal lodged in his brain, and that had moved about, and then BAM! The lights went out. His accident, I know now, the one that I have to stop. Then there was the email that Mum sent to Auntie Ellie. I wasn't looking for it or anything. It's just my laptop had been going a bit mental owing to some virus it got when I tried to download a game for free from a site. So I borrowed Mum's to look up something for my homework. And there it was. And I just sort of read it. Hi, E. Thanks for being so good on the phone last night. You're a star, sis. Things are just mad here, but like I said, people have been so kind. Byron came round this morning. Goodness, he looked awful. He seemed to be about 20 years older. Don't know when the funeral will be yet for certain. Probably a week on Thursday. Dr. Bangery confirmed that it was SAH, and so far as he was concerned, there were no suspicious circumstances, obviously, and that the inquest should be straightforward, and they released the body to Harrison's, who are doing the funeral. Got a call from Pi's sister, Hypatia. Remember her? All big hair and fake nails. She's flying back from Canada. Not a peep from her in years, and now she's all concerned. I just wish she'd called him more. Listen to me, E, I'm planning a funeral, and I'm only 38. I've been okay the last few days. I just can't shake off the guilt that something was troubling P, and he couldn't tell me, and the stress of it brought on the aneurysm. I can't quite put my finger on it, but he wasn't himself. He and Al had some row which neither of them would talk to me about, and P and I were a bit tetchy for days, so I feel a bit guilty about that. Oddest of all, though, he went to see Jack Robson, the solicitor, last week to talk about our will. We made a will when we had Al and haven't touched it since. JR said he made no alterations, just wanted to check that everything was in order because we'd lost our copy of it, and that's true. And could he post us a new copy? And that was it. How weird is that, E? JR reckons it was definitely just a coincidence and that he's not going to bring it up, least of all at the inquest, because that would just confuse and delay matters. But I mean, what? Anyone would think that he knew he was going to die. I can't believe she just said that, but that's not true. He was healthy and everything. Maybe I'm just being over-analytical. The solicitor's probably right, but it's still a bit weird though, isn't it? Al's bearing up, but goodness, he's going to find it hard in the next few months and years. That's what I find more upsetting than anything. Thanks for your offer to take him for a few days. I think he might like that. Get away from here for a little while, but not too long. I need him here. He's the man of the house now. Steve from work has been great too. Did I tell you he lost his wife 3 years ago? Life's cruel sometimes, wouldn't you say? Sarah, and a kiss. Well, that's on a slightly lighter note, Maple, that we will finish it there. And chapter 35, oh, I like these type. It will be 10 things I know about Steve. Okay then, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again tomorrow. Well, in a manner of speaking. Okay, bye for now. Bye. Sorry, there was a little icon came up. I couldn't press the stop taking video, but I can now. So bye.